Hello world, welcome back to Small Couch Reviews. It's your boy Sam.
It's your boy Jovi.
And today we are talking about GhostBusters Afterlife. It is the newest installment in the GhostBusters franchise, the fourth movie, theatrical release. And it's actually written by the son, I think written and directed by the son of the original director from the 1984 version. In all ways, this is a successor, I think. Well, or a sequel, I should say, which we'll get into in a little bit. Yeah, definitely, man.
Most definitely.
But yeah, man, let's get right into it, Jovi.
Yeah.
Tell us what you liked, what you didn't like.
I really like the soundtrack. I really like the soundtrack because it made me get that same feeling I got when I watched the originals.
Hold on, soundtrack.
Like, it's just like the background music.
Bro, I did not even notice. Go ahead.
Yeah. So it's like very old school, progressive type music. Like, it really pushed the story along. And then very reminiscent to the original. And there's some things that were like exactly like the original movies.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate, actually. Way better than whatever we got last time, which clearly has nothing to do with this universe because they didn't even mention it.
I actually did not watch the 2016 version.
Good. Don't.
Yeah, I heard it was really bad.
It's bad, and it doesn't have anything to do with this Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm glad they made sure that was known, because as the movie, and you guys will see, they talk about the past. And the kids have no idea who the Ghostbusters are.
Yeah, it was, almost 40 years ago?
Yeah, it was like 30 to 40 years before they were even thought of.
Right.
So, it makes sense. I liked it. It was fun. It was a fun movie. It wasn't like this most spectacular movie in the world. The visual effects weren't ridiculously great. It was just like, this is a fun movie. This feels like a fun family movie. And then there were some things said that made it not very family.
Yeah, I was about to say, I just watched it. I was in the theater, and there were a couple phrases and words. Like, I remember I was with there was a mom and the daughter to the right of me, and every time, something would be said, and the mother would be like, oh!
Nasir turned and looked over and was like, what does that mean? And we were just like, well, tell you what it is and be quiet because we're in the movie theater. And we kept moving along, but yeah, there was a lot of little things. Like, it was so, you're like, oh, this is great, this is so wholesome, and then someone talks about getting boned.
Yeah.
And then you're like, what?
Yeah.
So, but they are teenagers. They're the oldest is a teenager, and then the two youngest are, 12?
Yeah, they were 12.
Yeah, so close, preteens.
Right.
They're going to say things like that. I work in middle schools, if you guys didn't know that. And so that's probably the most PG thing I would hear.
Okay. Gotcha.
So I guess they were trying to show that this is now. This is modern. This is... but yeah, it was... I really don't have much else to say about it besides it was fun, and it was a great little story.
Anything you didn't like?
I didn't like. It seemed like they packed a lot into the movie. It did seem like it was a lot, and then we in the beginning we got a little bit of what is his name? What is his name?
Who are you talking about? Don't give away if you're talking about the grandfather.
Or grandfather, what he was doing in the beginning, and when he was running. It's like, so we got that sequence was really cool. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, I feel like I would have enjoyed a little more of that.
I see.
Yeah. Okay. And it's just like, I don't know. I really don't have negative things to say about it because it's like, it is what it is. I feel like that it's making room to bring Ghostbusters to this time frame.
I have very few negative things to say about it. Like you said, it's not a perfect movie at all.
No.
But I mean, it's a tight 2 hours and 5 minutes. For one thing, I say it wasn't too long. That's
not at all.
Which is a problem with a lot of movies.
Yeah. I was very surprised. Like I said, I feel like they packed a lot in that short period of time. Like every scene was progression.
Yeah. So okay. So like it's fresh in my mind. I'm just thinking.
No. Yeah.
I guess. Let me just get what I guess what I didn't like out the way.
Yeah.
There were a couple moments where there was some nostalgia thrown in there.
Yeah.
Like the camera actually like stopped and like froze for like a second and a half on like certain things from the original movie.
Yeah.
Like the uniforms or like the candy bars and the Twinkies and all that.
Candy bars, Twinkies, the washing off of the Cadillac and the logo appears.
So
that's something I didn't like.
Yeah.
That car would have not ran that long or did any of that if it hadn't been started that long.
That's true. I don't know. And that kid did not look like he knew how to fix that car. That's true.
But he had a Chevrolet shirt on and he fixed the car on their way there. So I think they were trying to show they were foreshadowing that he knew how to work on cars.
He fixed a car on the way there?
Mm-hmm. They were like pulled over and the hood was popped. And he checked the car before they pulled off from
you know what? You're right. I did not realize that.
So I was like, and then he had that Chevy shirt on when they first got there. So I was like, I think they were trying to foreshadow that he knows mechanics.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the car guy didn't like that. But yeah. So outside of that nostalgia thing, there is a moment when Paul Rudd's character is in a Walmart. And did you notice he was the only customer in that Walmart? That was just weird to me. It's not something I disliked.
Even when he runs out, you're like, "Why is this the only car?" But hey, you go down south and you can go to Walmart 24/7. So it could have been really, really, really late.
Okay,
I get what you're saying. Like that is very unbelievable that you're the only one in town. But then it's a really small town, and why did they have such a big Walmart?
You're right. That's something I disliked. That's something that caught my eye. Yeah. And during the whole scene, I was just thinking, I was like, yeah, this doesn't make sense to me, but hey. But then the other thing, I guess, the only other thing I didn't like was the other characters outside of the granddaughter. So, we didn't mention this, but the plot premise of this movie, this family, who's the family of one of the Ghostbusters. It's not a spoiler. That was in the trailer. They don't tell you which one, so I'm not going to say. Okay. But he's the family of one of the Ghostbusters.
You could tell, and if you know, like the actual actors.
Well, yeah. I guess if you pay attention to that, you would know. But like, yeah, they lose their house because they can't make rent, so they get evicted, and their grandfather leaves them his house in a small town on a farm. So they go there, and then they start realizing all this ghost stuff is happening. Yeah. And the granddaughter, played by the actress, her name is McKenna Grace. She was probably the best part of it. She was the best part of the movie.
She was. She carried the movie.
Like, yeah. Carried the entire movie.
Paul Rudd.
So
Paul Rudd was hilarious.
So
I could not. I'm a grown man just yelling, laughing in this theater because it's not that he says funny stuff. He just looks funny. Like everything he does is just funny to me. I don't know what it is. Like even when he was running, it was just like it's like you look hilarious.
I can actually picture you laughing at him running.
Yeah.
And no one else laughing but you.
I was like hysterically laughing at this man.
Yeah, bro. But
me and my brother. Yeah, it's like I feel like we just have the same sense of humor.
Yeah. He was not. He had some comic relief in there. Wasn't as quippy as I thought he would be, but yeah, had some comic relief. But yeah, when McKenna Grace, the granddaughter, when she wasn't on screen, I have to tell you, I really didn't care what was happening. Even Finn Wolfhard, the guy from Stranger Things, his whole side story with him and his girlfriend, I just saw the movie, I don't remember her name. I didn't care anytime.
They didn't say it often.
When he was on the screen, no, her name was Luck. I think that was her name.
Something like because I remember when he ran to her. And then Paul Rudd was in there.
When he was on the screen without his sister, the granddaughter, I didn't care. So every time she was in, every scene she was in, I was thoroughly entertained. Yeah. So I guess that is I'm done with the negatives. I enjoyed this movie, like you said. I thought it was a nice, fun family film. I watched Ghostbusters 1 and 2. I watched 2 a whole lot more than I watched 1 for some reason.
I feel like that was just our time. because the original came out like our brothers and sisters' ages, and then like the second one was kind of closer to our age.
Yeah, a little bit.
And then like it was on TV more. It's like on TV way more.
I remember that in the creepy art museum. But this one is like I was saying, after watching the first one, or I watched both of them. This one is definitely a sequel. Like, I mean, it calls back to the first one a lot. Yes. Do yourself a favor and watch the first one. Not only is it a good movie, but it'll actually it'll help you. It's not necessary for this movie, but you'll appreciate it more. It's
not, and Nasir was concerned about that. He's like, I thought we were going to watch the originals, and I was like, we will. But I already knew that's how movies are nowadays. They're going to talk about the original a lot.
Yeah, they did.
But they did it well.
They did it very well. So it wasn't necessary to watch, but when I was watching it, I was like, oh, wait, I do. Like, even the, I guess, the main, like, one of the ghosts, I was like, oh, yeah, I do remember this from the first one. Yeah. So, yeah, definitely, it was a good movie. It was a good sequel.
Something you said something about ghosts. You don't see that many ghosts.
Yeah, it's. I don't think you see your first ghost for like maybe an hour into the movie.
You don't see it, but guys and gals, I don't mind that because it is very story. They built this new story.
I enjoyed the characters.
Yeah.
So, the character.
The character.
Right.
The mom was not. She was so unnecessary.
Yeah, I did.
I guess you had to know so you could get the feeling that she had for her dad. Mm-hmm. Then it really showed he was doing it for a reason. You know, all that. I'm trying to do very good about not giving spoilers, but yeah, the mom, her attitude for the whole movie is necessary. It's just like I just didn't like her performance. I didn't care.
I don't even know if it was. Well, I guess the way she was necessary for the granddaughter to be the way she was.
Yeah.
But seriously, she carried this movie on her back. I haven't seen someone carry a movie like this since Kano in the terrible Mortal Kombat movie.
Using that proton pack, and then just shooting like that was a little unbelievable.
Well, no, what? Something else I really appreciated though, when they do go after their first ghost, they failed.
Oh.
And I really like that it's not as simple as just putting it on and shooting the gun. I was like, that would take a while. So they actually failed twice, honestly.
They did.
Before they caught their first ghost. So I appreciate it.
Again, I don't know if I was just tired, because I had a long day, and we went and saw this movie. But there is the first time they try to catch a ghost, I bust out laughing. I was like, I don't care. Nobody else found that hilarious. they failed. Right. It was funny to me. Like, they legit failed.
Yep.
And that's like the realism that once we make our own movie, and that you're gonna see stuff like that because it's not all butterflies.
Right, exactly. If she had just put it on and knew how to use it, I'd be like, okay. No. It would have been stuck. I don't know if it would have ruined the movie, but it would have been stuck in the back of my head. Like, okay, gotcha.
That's just like Ray knowing how to use a lightsaber.
Yeah. Or Ray knowing how to lift all that stuff off of the in what was it, The Last Jedi?
Rocks. Yeah,
all those rocks.
Yeah. Stuff like that doesn't.
Or the Emperor freaking breaking down an entire fleet of ships with the Force. I could go on about. We haven't talked about this movie on camera. I could go on about that, but anyway.
I don't want to talk about that.
Anyway, I think this was a great time to wrap up.
Straight up.
Definitely something to go see. Yeah, I would definitely definitely go watch this. I think it's only in theaters. Yeah. Definitely something to go watch, bro. What would you give this? Scale of 1 to 5.
I'm gonna get a 4.5. I just don't feel like giving it a 5 because it wasn't. The action sequences were cool. Like I really liked the thing. I said something about the Cadillac and the car and everything, and it not being realistic, especially like even air in the tires. But the car sequences were pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I wanted a little more action sequences, and I wanted a little more ghosts catching because they're Ghostbusters.
I gotcha.
So that's why I say 4.5.
I'm gonna give it a 4. Only because
only one character really stood out.
Yeah, only one character really stood out. But I mean, it was a good character.
Right.
It was a
sexiest man alive.
Right.
That's funny as hell.
It is.
That I was like, did that promote the movie? Did anything that pushed people? I want to see. So, we keep updates on our now Twitter and Instagram. I really want to see how much money this movie makes this weekend. Mm-hmm. because like we recommend going to see it, and especially if you have a family. I think this would be fun. Again, there's some things that are said. If your kids are young enough to not understand it, cool. If your kids are a little older, they may ask questions.
Well, I mean, if you've taken your kids to see Guardians of the Galaxy or pretty much any of the Marvel movies, you'll be
you can see this.
You'll be alright.
Yeah.
All right, man. So 4.5. I guess that means your small couch review score is a 4.25. Wow, that's gonna be tough to animate, right? You're gonna have to put the TV like this.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, Ghostbusters, have you seen it? What you think about it? Did you like it? Let us know. And until next time, we out.
Deuces.